ready? Welcome. Welcome once again to the Big B and Little T channel. I am the Big B.
And I'm Little T.
And today we're going to spend a few minutes just answering some questions that might help you get to know us better. There's going to be some questions and then we're going to have a lightning round where we get to choose who best fits the answer to that specific question. So the first question that we often get asked by people is, how and when did you meet?
Do I get to answer first?
Yeah, you're the odds, yes.
Okay. Well, it was in 1977, and before the school year started, our gymnastics coach, both of us were gymnasts, had decided to have a gymnastics camp at the high school. And prior to that, he was dating someone at the time who was a photographer, and she had agreed to take pictures of all the gymnasts at Boomer Lake. There was a deck kind of area that had been built out over the water, and we all just met there and got individual pictures taken. And I remember seeing Brian there with his friend Tommy, who was dressed as a jockey because he got his pictures taken too. And I just thought, who is this guy?
Well, I slightly disagree. But
he has a little rebuttal.
I don't remember that day. I remember when we were in the gym. But that's okay. Continue.
Okay. Do you have brothers or sisters?
I do. I have one brother that lives in Oregon. He is 6 years older than me. I have a sister 4 years older than me that lives in Washington, and one that is 2 years older than me that lives in Arizona.
You're the baby.
I'm the baby.
I have a brother and a sister, and they are both 6 years older than me, which seems odd because they are not twins. But each of them are the son or daughter of my parents' first marriages, and then I'm the only child from my parents' marriage.
Okay. Where did you grow up?
I was born in Stillwater and grew up there my entire life. So most of my life I've lived in Stillwater.
Well, I grew up in a very, very small town in Illinois called Fowler, Illinois, till I was about 10 or 11 years old, and then we moved to Stillwater so my mom could go to vet school, and then I grew up from that point forward in Stillwater.
Okay. Most memorable moments from our marriage, either meaningful or funny.
I would say just one that comes to mind without giving it a lot of thought would be the time, I don't know if it's a moment, more of a period of time, when we lived on Cape Cod. And we lived there for 6 months while I was finishing up my master's degree, and I was in an internship, and we lived in this really nice house. We could see the ocean from our kitchen window. I had never even seen the ocean, so to be able to walk down to the ocean, so that's just kind of that period of time.
Well, I'd say, I'm going to go to funny first because it's in that same location. When we knew that he had gotten the internship there, we had to go up and find housing, and so we had gone up before that semester started to look for a place to live, and we were going to meet this guy that was going to show us some places to live. His name was John, I do believe. And we went to his house. It was this big, white, old house, and we went up to the front porch. Well, the strange thing was that the front porch had a screen door, and instead of having a piece of glass at the top, the glass was missing, but the bottom part of the door was just a normal screen door. And when we met him, he's like, "My name's John," and he reached his hand through that broken part of the window to shake our hands, and then a cat leaped out through the hole in the window and dashed off, and we had to try to act serious and not laugh our heads off at that time, but it was very, very funny. As far as meaningful, I'd say three most meaningful times are when we had our 3 children. That has to count for very, very meaningful. But I just think an overall meaningful part of our marriage is that we've gone from careers that have been like, we were both in teaching, taught at separate schools, and then we both worked at career services, and we worked in the same office, and gradually we've merged. We both worked at Life Church, and then now we're working at the Bakehouse together. It's just, our lives have just gradually
24/7.
Yeah, merged to where we're always together.
Okay, the next question is, who was a big influence in your life?
Well, I'd say, going back to gymnastics again, it would be our gymnastics coach, Bob Oldham. He had just a huge influence for the 4 years that I was in high school, and then was a lifelong friend up until his death a few years ago. He just was a very meaningful person.
Ironically enough, I'd probably say the same thing. I think my mom, of course, played a big
Yeah.
part because she ended up being a single mom, and she had a real unbelievable work ethic, and so I think all of that kind of played in. But he was certainly my formative years. I would say our gymnastics coach probably played a big part.
Yeah, and I would include my parents too. They were very supportive. Okay, number 6. Tell us about your family.
Well, I guess that means I don't know. We've already told about brothers and sisters. I would say I guess it's our kids we're talking about. So we have 3 kids. Zach, who is 32. I have to think about that now. Kylie, who is 31.
Yeah, because Zach is almost 33.
And Brianne, who is 27. I know the years they're born. I just have to think it through. And they all live in different parts of the country, so they're all in their own careers now, and are doing a marvelous job. We're very proud of them.
Yeah, very independent. We homeschooled them for a lot of their, elementary, junior high. Zach was the one that went all the way through high school, so I felt very, very fortunate to have gotten to stay home and do that with them. And I remember all along saying to myself, time's gonna go fast, pay attention. And I paid attention, and of course there's ups and downs in the everyday life, but it still went fast even when I paid attention. I just treasure getting to be a mom and getting to be with the kids for a lot of their younger years. It was a lot of fun times.
Yes, sir. How are we alike and different in our personalities?
Well, we're both introverted, so on our own we would choose to be in a small group of people or alone. And from there it kind of diverges. I'm more artisty, music-y, into the kind of creative, fluffy world. Brian's more the practical. I guess you could tell more about yourself in that way.
Okay.
I'm the feeler. Like today I was just finishing a book and bawling my head off, even though I told Brian, I said, it's happy sad. And he kind of gave me a confused look, but it's like, he just goes along with it. He's used to it by now. I can cry at commercials, or he says at Andy Griffith. And as far as I have a hard time making decisions or making choices because there's so many choices out there and I want to partake in all of them. And Brian likes to just make a decision and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, all I'll add is except for introverted, we're different on most scales.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's a good balance. It's just sometimes you can have some conflict.
Let's say opposites attract. I think it's really true. Favorite things we did as a kid?
Well, probably I'd say gymnastics, of course, in my older kid time. But prior to that, probably playing Little League baseball in a small town. There's just a lot of good, fun, fond memories.
Mm-hmm. I would say I spent a lot of time on the weekends out at the farm with my grandparents and my brother. And I just remember in the summertime when the sorghum, which we called sugarcane, as kids just, it was so tall, and I've always been short and little and everything, and just running up and down the rows of sugarcane, and then also my grandpa cutting some of it off, and we'd peel it back and chew it, and then get all dry in your mouth. Or else just like he'd pull a pear off the pear tree and slice it with his pocket knife and give me a slice of it. And also playing in the fields and scratching the young calves with a stick on their head and just kind of running wild really out on the farm. I just remember a lot of outside time. I really enjoyed doing stuff outside, riding my bike, just being a
So
kid.
the favorite thing you did was animal cruelty.
What?
Okay, number 9.
What does that mean?
We're scratching the cow.
No, they liked it. You scratch it on their head, and it's like getting,
What?
an itch scratched.
We may need to skip a few of these because I think we've answered some of them, but we'll go
Okay.
to this one. What is an obstacle or a challenge that you've had to overcome in your life?
Well, in high school, being a gymnast, as a girl especially, it's really hard to go around wearing leotards and you feel very, very exposed. And I think part of that pressure of that and just the culture and growing up in the family that I did, I ended up with an eating disorder. And it took some time to get over, especially I think when Brian finally said to me, he said, I will quit college and get a full-time job to pay for you to get some help if that's what you need. And it was just, I think it took somebody saying that to me to help me really get over that, to have that emotional support. So I've always kind of had issues with food, and I've kind of turned it around into a positive thing, but it's just a lifelong thorn in my side.
Yep. An obstacle or challenge? Well, probably the biggest challenge I faced in life probably was my parents divorced when I was probably about 13 or so. And it was kind of a messy divorce. And that was tough and that was negative, but there are a lot of positive things. I mean, that sounds kind of weird, but a lot of positive things came out of it. I became much more independent and took care of myself, and because my mom became a single mom, really. So, but it did forced me to be a little different. I used to be more extroverted and everything, and I became introverted and just spent time by myself trying to figure that all out, which you can't really figure it out very well when you're 13 years old.
Yeah. What do we do in our free time?
Well, we don't have a lot of free time. I don't know if we have any less than a lot of people, but I would say in my free time what I do would probably be read, probably. Would probably be the most common thing that I would do. I mean, we're camping right now, or van camping right now, and we like to do that. We've only done that recently. But just anything that's quiet and not around a lot of people, because we're around a lot of people all day at work, and being an introvert, you kind of get your energy zapped. So I have to recharge my battery at night some way.
Yeah. I like to do anything musical. I'm not a professional musician by any means, but I decided this summer to start playing guitar again. And in the past I've played violin in a string quartet and flute a little bit. Piano I've played ever since I was little. So I just love making music, playing music, learning something new that has to do with music. I also like to draw and doodle, write. I don't know, those things. I just love the creative outlet like that. Of course I love to cook too, but I cook all day, so I don't find myself cooking too much at night.
What are we looking forward to that we cannot do right now? That's yours.
Oh yeah, I gotta answer first. What are we looking forward to? Well, doing this right now, we've kind of just very recently stopped working on Saturdays, and so we got this van back in April, and now we weren't going to camp in the summer because it was super hot during the day, but we've started doing that for the past couple weekends and exploring something to do with outdoor activities like hiking, van camping, riding our bikes, maybe taking even longer exploration hikes, things like that. Kind of looking forward to doing stuff outside.
Yeah, I think that we're both looking forward to not working so many hours on our feet all day.
Yeah.
Something that's a little bit different. I mean, we still want to work and be purposeful and all of that, but not 60 plus hours a week on our feet would be really nice. Let's see, we're going to skip this one because in this one we've already kind of answered, but we'll go down to this one. I guess that'd be yours then.
One interesting fact that people wouldn't guess or know about you.
I would say probably that I have a master's degree in clinical psychology, and I've always enjoyed, although I've not done it from a professional capacity, I like diagnosing people. I used to be pretty good at it. I don't necessarily like to do the counseling side of it, but I like to just look at people and diagnose them.
Figure them out. One interesting fact that people wouldn't guess or know. Well, when our kids were little, they took Taekwondo, and we moved to Arizona, and that was Tong Soo Do. It was a little bit different. And it was a very small class, and I remember the instructor, I would always go and just sit and watch them. He's like, "Why are you sitting out there? Why don't you come join a class?" And it never crossed my mind ever to do that. And so I started doing it. We lived in Arizona, and then we moved back to Oklahoma. And I just kept on doing Taekwondo eventually till I earned my black belt. So that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
More than 20 years ago, but
I have a black belt too.
from JCPenney.
Yeah, JCPenney. Last question before we go to the lightning round.
Oh boy.
Who from the past would you like to have dinner with if you could?
I have to answer first again? This doesn't seem right.
Yep.
Who from the past?
While you're thinking, we both said that we don't want to say Jesus, not because we wouldn't want to have dinner with him, but we wanted it to be somebody beyond that. I mean, given a choice, we'd probably, be kind of cool to have dinner with God. But beyond that, that's...
A historical person.
Yes.
I think a person... Can I have two?
No, because we don't have time.
Okay.
Choices.
It's between two. I'll say Laura Ingalls Wilder. because she wrote the Little House books, and I read those over and over and over as a kid and just loved them, and I would like to meet her and just sit down and
Well,
hear
who
about
was the second one?
Tasha Tudor. She's a person who is an artist, and she lived a very natural life, and I loved her illustrations. I had a book of fairy tales that my grandparents had given me that they bought in some fancy store in Chicago when they went, and I just love her illustrations. I would love to be able to illustrate like her.
So in the end, you did too.
I did. Well, you
Yeah.
asked. If you hadn't asked, I wouldn't have said.
Well, I'm just going to probably say I think, Abraham Lincoln for some reason. I think partly because I grew up in the early years of my life in Illinois, and he's from Illinois. But just the circumstances that he faced in his presidency and the leadership that it took to work through such difficult circumstances, I think he would have a lot of amazing stories to tell about how he succeeded and how he worked through those challenges.
Okay, we've made it through the questions on getting to know us. Hopefully you know us a little bit better than you did before we started. Now we're going on to the lightning round, and Brian's going to quickly flip over a question.
Now, these have to be quick answers.
And then we'll say 3, 2, 1, and then I'll point to myself or I'll point to him, and you'll do the same thing. Who do we think it's more likely?
Right. And we're not going to expound on anything very much.
Yes.
That's the rule.
We can't say anything?
No. Well, no, we can say whatever we want.
Okay. It is our video.
All right, here we go. Which of you make others laugh at inappropriate times?
3, 2, 1, you.
I have been known to do that.
In meetings when you're supposed to be.
Yes. I have an amazing ability to make others laugh while I can hold it together. Even though, if you've seen any of the bloopers, once I start laughing, I can't stop laughing, but somehow I do it in professional kinds of settings. Okay, now it's time to do another one. Which of you likes to plan ahead and have a schedule?
3, 2, 1, you.
Mostly me. I would agree with that. But not totally.
Yes, all the time. Why are you skipping it? That doesn't
I'm
seem
just
fair.
mixing them up more. Mix them up. Which of you is most likely to wake up and snooze?
And snooze. Wake up without snoozing?
Wake up and snooze.
What's that mean? And use the snooze button?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. But within the last 6 months, I have, maybe even longer, I have just hit the alarm, and after I stretch in bed, which is really funny to watch, then I get up. And I don't hit the snooze anymore.
I'm just going to be...
I've taken my phone out of the bedroom, and it's on my iPad, and I don't even open the iPad. I just hit the button, so there's no opportunity to snooze.
We have about 4 or 5 more, and I know we're short on video time. So I'm just going to tell you that we so far have hit 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
We know each well.
Yeah, I know, but we'll see. We'll see if we can hold it.
Okay.
Which of you is most likely to laugh uncontrollably?
3, 2, 1.
I would say...
It depends on the circumstance.
It does depend on the
I can get to where I
circumstance.
snort and everything.
Yes. Which of you is most likely to eat more chocolate?
3, 2, 1. No, it's you.
Well,
You don't always have to have chocolate after dinner.
I don't have to have chocolate after dinner, but I like to have chocolate.
And who was very excited when my mom would come back from Sam's while he was at work, and I would hide a 5-pound bag of Ghirardelli chocolate chips under his pillow.
Oh.
And he'd get there to go to bed at night, and he's like, "Thank you, Jan."
That was prior to being vegan. But okay, we have just a few more. Which of you is most likely, this is an easy one, to cry at a movie, commercial, or even Andy Griffith?
3, 2, 1, me.
I've never seen anybody who has the ability to cry so quickly. Which of you is most likely to be optimistic?
3, 2, 1.
I would agree with that.
Yes.
I'm notoriously known to be resistant when somebody brings up a new idea. I have to think it through, and then I'm usually okay after that. Usually.
Yeah. And I think of things, I can be worried and think of things and like have a worry bone. But I also have always been a glass half full person and can look for the bright side. Even like when something goes wrong and I'll just say, well, is it just a loose screw? Can you just like try this or try that? And Brian's like, it's going to be a bigger problem than that.
Well, that's the glass half empty.
That's you.
But like the next day, it'll be, half full.
Because
It takes me 24 hours.
it takes him time
Which
to
of
process.
you is most likely to fall asleep reading a book?
3, 2, 1.
Ah, that's probably true, I guess, since we both agreed
I think
on
you read more than I do, though.
it. Well, that is what I like to do in my free time. 2 more. Which of you is most likely to change the toilet paper?
3, 2, 1, me.
I agree with that. I get the toilet paper out.
You do, and
I
you
just
set it
can't-
on top
I
of
just
the
can't
thing, the rolly
complete
thing.
the task. Well, if there's a little bit left on the other roll, I don't want to waste anything.
Well, yeah.
I want to be a good steward of our earth resources. Last but not least is, which of you is most likely to do the laundry?
3, 2, 1.
That's right.
It is.
It's because I like doing the
He
laundry.
loves doing laundry.
I do love to do the laundry, and I love to put it on the bed. I don't fold it. I just put it on her side, and I put it on my side, and then we do our
And
own
we
folding.
we fold and put away our own.
Yep.
He's also the one that does the dishes more because I cook more. But if he cooked the meal, then I would do the dishes. We kind of,
Yeah, everybody has their own roles.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's worked out so far for almost 30,
8
9.
years. Well, yeah, 39.
yeah, going on 39. We haven't made it yet.
Nope, not yet. Hey guys, we hope that you enjoyed that. And as always, we appreciate you watching these videos and sharing them and subscribing and even commenting sometimes. But we'll be back next week with another video. You guys go out and make it a great one. Do you want me to introduce?
Yeah.
Well, hi everyone. Welcome once again.
Let me introduce, okay? What is the deal? Is it the big T thing? Can I just do it? What?
Second.
You're gonna do it?
No, you can do it.
What the deal is?
So I'm gonna.
We're never gonna make it.
Here
Our
we are.
29 minutes is.
I'm gonna
counting
ask the
down.
odds.
What odds?
I'm
Yes,
gonna,
the odds. You'll get 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9.
so you're gonna do the.
What's the matter?
You better stop. We're gonna wait till 29 minutes.
Here's a picture of Lucy I've been working on.
Okay, I think I can do it now.
Okay,
So I'm gonna introduce. Then you say what we're gonna do. How's that?
we'll see if we can. If you can't make it this time, then I'm gonna do it.
I can do it. I know I can. Okay. Well, you can't start laughing.
I'm not laughing. I'm smiling.
I bet that was about 29 minutes.
Lucy is licking the hummus that I flung over there.
I'm sure you can get a video out of that.
Oh, I'm sure. As long as it was recording.